everyone, and welcome to a new video of my Pillars of Eternity Let's Play. At the end of the previous episode, well, that was quite an emotional roller coaster. We arrived in Gilded Vale, that is absolutely not gilded. I was alone, but I did find a companion, Aloth, that, well, from what I could tell, is disturbed one way or another, but entertaining. I finally made my way to the inn, and I'm gonna have to explore a bit and then go back outside, have a look around the hanged bodies and all that.
Yes?
I didn't take the time to look at his gear and his skills. So what does he have? He uses a scepter. How regal. Or a rapier, but he has a spellbook equipped. They really got a great deal of imagination for the names of those spells. So, the dazzling lights. Everyone is, okay, dazed, got it. Fan of Flame is going to be a basic fire attack with area of effect, gotcha. Sunless Grasp is a cold attack, gotcha. Minor missiles, okay. And Wizard's Double is essentially the illusion spell, gotcha. I have no idea how that works, if it needs to select 4 spells per levels, memorize them. Okay, I get to choose. Well, we can leave it at that for now and see how the spells behave in battle. I got some loot of those poor idiots who attacked. Okay, let's talk to people. Nice and dry.
I shall.
Troy.
Well met, friend.
Welcome to the Black Hound Inn. Do I want a room? I didn't see if I was tired. Okay, anyway. Pasca says, please sit where you like. Would you like a drink or a room? We have 2 available at the moment. I'm afraid we can't offer much by way of good meal today. Unless you're fond of cold porridge. Not quite. Let's see if we have any leads for quests. Looking for work, hire someone, I'd be happy to send them your way. Well, thank you. I can recruit adventurers? How does that work? Well, with more money than what I have. I can buy... Maybe I should take a set before I head out. Retrain character, okay. Party. Okay. If I need to head out in the wilderness, I'll have to get some camping gear. And I'd rather be the one doing the talking. No offense. I didn't see anything saying it belonged to someone. It's not locked, okay. Good. Wouldn't want to upset people because I happen to collect a few things. You don't have time for talking. Fair enough. A scroll. A book. Let's see what it is about. Okay, I'm going to read that afterwards once I'm not recording, because it seems to be some lore. And while my voice can be soothing, I really wouldn't want you to fall asleep. As you near, you feel a vibrant history contained in the essence of this woman's soul. Voices from its past seems to call out to you. Wow, I can talk to the souls? Well, let's see if I can reach out. You see a woman emptying her satchel onto her bed, taking stocks of her inventory, potions, bandages, Tinctures and herbs are scattered throughout her room haphazardly. She bites her lips, head tilted to the side, considering. She begins to repack one item after the other, careful deliberation undercut by shaking hands. Each item has a clearly marked place, but no matter how she repacks it, she isn't satisfied. The shaking worsens as she empties it out once more. One hand held to her mouth. Tears echo from her eyes as she gives up all semblance of order and shoves everything she can in a satchel, grabbing it and running out of the bare house. Straightening her back, she walks to the docks, chin high, her eyes hard and red. A gangly young elf offers his condolences, but she can't see him for the ocean ahead of her. She wanders the docks, offering her services as a doctor to any who will listen, anyone heading out on high tide. Less than an hour later, she watches her childhood disappear in the distance, a tiny speck of land, and tries not to jump. Okay, that was intense. Let's talk to her. No, I really can't talk to her. Just talk to her soul. Okay, let's see what your soul has to tell me. You see a group of young men standing around a makeshift practice target. The man stands in the middle of them, explaining the construction and use of a bow. He holds it up, pointing out each part as he speaks about it and what it does. He then walks away from the target, telling them to remain where they are, and takes his place about 200 feet away. He carefully lines up his shot, explaining what he is doing as he does, and lets the arrow fly. It hits the target dead center, much to the surprise and delight of the boys near it. He smiles, walking towards the boy, talking about proper stance and how to most effectively hold the bow. A noise comes from the tree line near their practice venue, and he stops, scanning the woods, blue eyes squinting against the sun. A shadow moves, making its way through the forest behind them. He draws an arrow and lines up the shot, carefully tracking the motion of the hidden creature. Losing the arrow, he wastes no time and quickly grabs another. The boy spins, watching the arrow fly into the forest, immediately lost among the trees. There is a sudden explosive movement in the undergrowth as a deer erupts from the tree line, running across the edge of the clearing. The boy laughs, turning to joke with the man about his lousy shot. They stop talking, seeing him holding the bow and leading the deer with the knocked arrow. They drop to the ground as he loses this last arrow, which flies through and strikes the deer right behind its shoulder, piercing the heart and lungs and dropping it dead almost immediately. The boys stare at the deer for a few seconds and then slowly turn to look at the man, newfound respect in their eyes. He smiles again, breathes a quiet sigh of relief. It's all good and well, but I'd like to be able to talk to those people. Let's see. Who are you then? Another fool comes to answer Raedric's invitation. Our great lord had my sister run out of town after the boy was born. She was the only family I had left, not sure what she is now. Blazes, I need another drink. Yeah, villagers will say nothing else. Yes, I meant to have a look at the journal. Not that I have too many quests just now. Carouser. Grab a drink, friend. Not much elf worth in this town. Says the woman from Tharian. Hey, we say we wouldn't mention Tharian. Let's do this. You see a man soar through the air, hitting a nearby wall with a nauseating crunch. He doesn't get up. His attacker, a burly, clean-cut warrior with a carnivorous grin, turns and shoves his fist into the stomach of another assailant, removing another from the impromptu brawl. The bar is a whirlwind of elbows, knees, fists, and feet, with no end in sight, and he is in his element. In the corner, 3 smaller men speak quietly, throwing malicious glances at the larger man in the center. He breaks a chair over a tattooed head, crackling. The trio position themselves in 3 parts of the room, and with a terse nod, they charge. Unfortunately for them, the man sees them coming. Something in his eyes burns brightly, and all 3 slump onto the ground in an agony that's all... And all 3 slump to the ground in an agony that's all in their minds. The burly man bows to a room of the unconscious and incapacitated before stuntering out, off-key whistle trailing behind him. This is annoying. I can't talk to them. I don't need to know what's in their soul just yet. You see an emaciated boy in chains, black holes, 4 eyes, staring sightlessly at the wall. A man in the dark coat walks in, a scroll and oddly shaped quill in his hand. The boy glances at him expressionless, a corpse waiting for animation. The man clucks at him, disapproval clear in his tone. The boy stands, limbs hanging. The man takes the quill and begins to write on the boy's chest, copying sharp, angular symbols from the scroll. The child doesn't flinch as the quill digs into his skin, drawing blood as it goes. The wizard finishes with a flourish and barks some arcane command, setting the symbols to glow dully. The boy cries out, knees hitting the stone hard, his chest burning black and red. Finally, the glow disappears, leaving only hard black scars etched into his skin. He slumps sideways, twitching, eyes facing the back of his skull. The wizard grunts, kicking him on the leg on his way out. The boy lies on the floor until dawn. Eyes still black like holes, the twitch is growing into convulsive shakes. That's highly unpleasant. These burns are covered in tiny bright marks. For a second I thought I was gonna have to look into the soul of the dog. I want to pet the dog. Yeah. More light reading for me to do
Why
later
not?
on. Do try.
There, done.
Good. Duelist hat, padded armor, rapier. Good, thank you. Interesting. Looks like I have talked to anyone that could possibly be of interest in here. There's a second room. Yes, I'll have to look into this enchantment option. I don't recall seeing... Okay, no, I'm out. I don't recall seeing menus or skills for enchanting and crafting. Food, potions and scrolls. I'll do that later when I have more ingredients. Alright, so... Just villagers, villagers. People with names. It's locks. Let's see. You see a lone man standing in a field. He looks around, surveying the crops. Occasionally he bends to examine a leaf up close. He is intent on what he's doing, completely absorbed in his work. This man approaches him from behind. He moves slowly but does nothing to mask his approach. In his hand he holds a large sword. There appears to be no malice or hatred in the man's demeanor. He almost seems pleased. The first man hears his approach and stands, turning away from the plant he was inspecting. His face breaks into a smile, and he opens his arm to welcome the approaching man. The smile freezes into a grimace as the second man thrusts the sword through his stomach, its blade now protruding from his back. His arms slowly fall to his side, and blood starts to drip from the sword onto the plants below the man. As the first man crumples to his knees, the second pulls the sword out, a tear slowly falling down the cheek of his still smiling face. Well, that's weird and conflicting. So that was the usurper. Clink. You see a small group of people gathered around the ruins of a house. The destruction continues out from the single dwelling through the entire village. Not a single building still stands. Rubble is scattered everywhere. One of the men in the group leans over something in the debris. It is this man, younger, barely more than a boy. The man reaches out and shakes the boy by the shoulder. The boy makes no sound and doesn't respond to the man's disturbance. The man looks up at the other members of the group and shrugs, standing to rejoin his friends. The boy suddenly sits up, eyes wide. He scrabbles backwards, away from the group, looking around in horror. The group moves towards him in unison, eliciting a yelp from the boy, who tries to move farther away. A woman in the group puts out a hand, stopping the rest. She turns to them reproachfully, motions for them to stay, then looks at the boy on the ground, who is trying to push himself through what remains of a wall. He seems unaware he has even stopped. The woman slowly moves towards the boy, hands out, speaking in a low, calming tone. For a time, the boy doesn't even hear her. He just closes his eyes and braces himself against the wall, expecting violence. Eventually, the woman's words work through the fear, and he hears her. He opens his tear-filled eyes and stares at her. She holds out a hand to him. He looks at it, seeming confused by the offer, then hesitantly reaches out. She takes his hand in hers and leans down to help him stand. It's like everyone has had a traumatic story so far. And that's Ofra's house. I shall be careful if I head east. You look different. A dry wooden woman is standing in front of the fireplace, humming a quiet tune to herself, or perhaps to her unborn child, for she is clearly quite pregnant. She turns her head slightly as you enter.
Hail, traveler.
Well, finally, I was starting to think. The woman makes a startled noise once she turns around and sees you. Oh, I'm sorry. I was expecting someone else. Can I help you? Nice cat. Well, I mean, I do like the cat. Sure. Were you with one of the caravans, Master Odamus, by chance? I was. Well, no more than most here, I'd say. He doesn't usually come this way, but say he's a reliable old fellow. Wait, why do you say no? Yep. Ofra covers her mouth with her hand, eyes wide with horror. For a few moments she can manage nothing but a strangled, voiceless gasping, her eyes brimming with tears. I knew. I told her it was a dangerous path to take. Kalisha was always so certain she could take on any danger. Oh, my poor sister. I'm sorry, stranger. I can't believe she's gone. If only I hadn't called her here. If I hadn't written to her, she might still be alive somewhere. Her face crumples and a solitary tear slides down her cheek. Let's try to help her. Ofra looks at you with some surprise before dabbing at her nose with a sleeve. That's kind of you to offer, but I don't know if I could impose this on you. It's no small favor. I'm worried about the baby, about the legacy. I told Kalisha as much as I could, but all I know is that for a long time now, every child born in Gilded Vale has been soulless, empty. It's happened to so many mothers, and Lord Raedric has exiled all of them, calling it a sign of the gods' disfavor. With my hay thoughts gone, I don't know how to manage if I lost my home too. I hoped Kalisha could help me. They say Ranga, the old midwife, knows a way to prevent a child being hollowborn, but she moved south to Enslog Compass 2 seasons ago. The journey is too far from me. I can't make it as I am. But I don't have anyone else now with Kalisha gone. Please, can you help me? So I can go and look for that Ranga person. I'll go look for her. I got 20 copper. Okay, you will. Oh, God bless you. Here, I'll give you coin to pay her. You needn't trouble yourself with that. I think it's a drink she fashions out of, well, I'm not sure. But it shouldn't be too much of a burden to carry back. Enslog Compass is what we call the lagoon to the south. You'll have to cross the Wales to get there. That's what keeps me from trying it myself. Thank you again, truly. You'll be saving us both. Okay, I has a quest. Here, kitty. I can't talk to the cat. That's disappointing. What was that? Okay, stealing. That's the icon for stealing. Gotcha. It's just as well I didn't have to tell her about how Kalisha died and how I looted her body, even though I was quite sorry she died. Could have been awkward. So, been around that. Back to the tree, I guess. I'll have a look around first. Villager, villager, this is not stealing. Yum. So who lives there? Kira. Kira doesn't want to talk to me, but I can reach to her soul. You see a crowded marketplace, vendor stalls lining the road, their proprietors' voices calling out to passerby to come sample their wares. This woman wanders through the throngs, strolling hand in hand with another woman. They peruse the vendor's good, tarrying at a book merchant with a number of old and beautiful tomes, chatting with one another about what they see. One will pick up a book and show it to the other, who will take it, comment on it, and place it back on the shelf. Then the first will snatch up the book again and quickly pay the merchant before the other can snatch it back. They walk away from the market, weighed down by packs filled with books, still in hand, standing close, comfortable and familiar with each other. As they pass down a somewhat deserted street, an object suddenly hits this woman and in the chest and bounces off, rolling away towards one of the buildings. The women stop and look at the object, an apple, and then back up at the person who threw it. There is nothing special about him aside from the angry look on his face and the two other apples he holds. Before either woman can move, the man draws back and throws another one at them, this time hitting the second woman in the forehead. He yells at them something derisive and hateful, something about a legacy and about responsibilities. The woman raises her hand to her head and wipes the juice and bits of fruit from her face and stares the man down defiantly. The first woman squeezes her hand and puts the other on her companion's shoulder, attempting to calm her down. The other woman pulls a book from her bag and holds it before her, muttering under her breath. She pulls her hand free and waves it above the book, an aura forming around her. The first woman is still trying to calm her down, but all she says goes unheard. The man, uncaring of the event happening in front of him, draws back and throws the last apple. As it arcs through the air towards them, the second woman brings up her hand and points at the apple. A glowing orb of energy flies from her hand and strikes the apple, causing it to explode, raining bits of apple down on the road and building around them. The man's face changes, anger joined by fear, looking like he's trying to decide if running or attacking is the better course of action. The second woman has started chanting again, her hand glowing, her eyes narrowing. The woman steps in front of her, placing herself between her love and their attacker. She touches her face, gently stroking it while whispering calming word, a kiss. The woman's countenance changes. She calms down, her eyes softening, her lips regaining their lost smile. The first woman smiles again as well as kisses the other. Wizard scum, the man behind them says, and the two women turn to face him, staring him down defiantly. They join hands and begin walking again, moving past him without so much as a sideway glance. Would that be the other woman? We'll find out. You see her key turned gently, steady, and hear a ghostly click as the door swings inward. Two figures slip in, locking the door behind them, and begin their prowl. Their hunt is efficient, and it takes them little time to acquire a sizable collection of documents and oddly shaped velvet pouches, quick hands, filled pockets, rucksacks, bags. The door opens downstairs, and everything freezes. Footsteps, a tired giggle. The thieves are all eyes white. Eye whites. Sorry, I'm struggling. I don't know that expression. And short breath as they empty their pockets of all but the necessities, anything noisy hurriedly replaced. Silence from downstairs, then tentative steps up the staircase. A voice calls out. One thief creeps towards the other, gesticulating widely for him to return. He continues forward, crouching by the banister. He sees a gaudy shoe and shoves. The woman falls with a cut-off scream, rolling lifelessly to the floor below. Swearing, the second thief grabs her brother and then make their escape, collecting whatever of value they can on the way out. One steal. I still wish I could talk to them. Windmill and the road east. Oh, I know Nonton. This man and woman appear to have been deep in conversation, working at closing two bulging satchels. They move to embrace until the woman notices your approach and pauses, her smile faltering a little.
Hello.
Can we help you? Do you know this woman, Nonton? Yes, I think we met. We met in Valewood. I warned her about the bear. Glad to see you've made it. Were there something else you wanted? That. You seem too happy. That's unkind of you to say. I'm grieving my husband in my fashion. I'm only sorry I could not convince him to leave Gilded Vale before this happened. I'm relieved to be rid of this terrible place. That's all. It cost me the greater part of my life and now my husband. And I'm glad to be free of it. Free of it or free of the husband? You're in a hurry. Yes, I imagine so. We're packing for a trip, actually. I've been meaning to visit Defiance Bay and, well, in truth, I think I've had my fill of this town. It's time for new scenery. He reaches to take her hand. They seem to be awfully cozy together. Tell me something about Gilded Vale. Only that you'll want to be moving as soon as you can. You'll have seen the trees, I imagine, but the rot goes deeper. If you were looking for work, I'd say you have a better chance of it elsewhere. Yeah, sorry. I figured as much myself. Okay then, I'll be leaving. It's not stealing. And a book for me to read later. Cool. So the windmill, the blacksmith, and then back around the tree. Finish my talk with that friendly Urgit, whatever his name was, I forgot. You are just a villager. Okay. We know there's more grain in here, Trumbull. We won't settle for the scraps while you grow fat on our crops. The first of you drunkards come through that door gets a shot between the eyes. Gods hear me, Seymour. I'll put you down like a dog. Come away for now, lads, but we'll be back, Trumbull, and we'll have fair prices, or by the flame, we'll have a reckoning. Investigate the feud. Well, will Trumbull talk to me? I hope he's not going to shoot an arrow between my eyes. An elven man stands before you. He is relatively stocky build, suggesting a life of labor. His face is pale and drawn, his eyes wide. Behind him, a younger man and woman exchange worried glances. The miller raises a club as you enter. It shakes violently in his grip. Get back if you value your life. Not enough resolve, so I'm gonna be nice. Who are you? Is Seymour roping foreigners into his little crusade now? Let's go with the truth. My name, and I just arrived. You picked a bad time to come visit Gilded Vale's. Had all his shine scraped off. Just a big dung heap now, and Seymour thinks he's king of it. They're all of them mad. So tell me what happened. Where to begin? Seymour whipped them up into a froth, going on about the grain stores, claims I've hidden away most of it. Have you? All I do with the grain is sell it. I can't create it out of thin air, and I can't hand it out for free. I pay the farmers for the crops they bring in, and I sell what comes out of the mill. Most of it goes to the Black Hound on the west side of town for ale, and Seymour and his lot sure don't mind that part. You take a look at the fields on the way into town. The crop's blighted, and most of what I'm getting from the farmers, it's gone off, rotted through. I can't pay top price for blighted wheat, and I've barely got enough good grain to go around, same as howling after things he has no right to. Well, I can try and talk to him, true. I'd be grateful if you did. He won't listen to me anymore, but maybe you'll have better luck. Tell him we're all having a hard time of it, and we'll have to make some sacrifices. Well, I'll try. I'm guessing he went to the inn, maybe, since he likes ale. Let's check this place. And maybe I can sell some of the extra gear I have. Lots of people in there. Commoners, guards, obviously can't have any of these. Apprentice. You seem to be the boss. So here's an impressive build, towering above the countertop. His skin is the dusky blue of the deeper oceans, and his thick arms boast corded muscle. Small ears frame a square jowed face coated in smeared soot, and arcing black tattoos alike. Welcome, you're the first new face I've seen in quite some time. What can I do for you? What do you have here? You come to us at a strange time, I'm afraid. The stock's not what it used to be, but we've fine weapons and armor to offer yet. All forged right here at the Black Hammer. Show me what you got. It won't show the stuff. Oh yes, it will. Gonna keep that. Looks like a good solid shield. Okay, I'm keeping one of each for whoever is my next companion. Then you have pretty things that I can't afford. So I'll just... no. Sorry, trade. There we go. Let's talk to the apprentice. He's got nothing to say. Let's talk to the customer. When I say talk, I really meant let's reach out for his soul. You see a group of adventurers surrounded by a crowd of attacking Zorips. This man is with them, seemingly unconcerned by the battle, even detached from it, as he stands in the middle of his comrades chanting, his expression bordering on elation. His voice is powerful and deep, booming out across the combatant as a rich counterpoint to the chaos of their fighting. With every phrase, the battlefield changes. His eyes glow with a pulsing blue light, freezing the Xarips that surround them. A blazing pyre erupts from the ground, cutting and burning the creatures and sending them scattering. One of the fallen Xarips suddenly explodes as 3 giant grubs crawl from its corpse and attacks the remaining enemies. That's gross, and there seem to be chants from chanters, so maybe I'll do that someday. The man continues to chant, thoroughly enthralled in the joy of the moment. Finally, the creatures have been reduced to 1. His allies stand back as the man approaches it. Still chanting, he removes his hammer and swings it at the Zorip. His phrase ends as the hammer connects with its head, punctuating the spell and bringing his song to an end. Yes, yes, yes. Let's have a look at your song. You see a man crouching, surreptitious and alone, a series of untamed shrubs, all that hide him from the vision ahead. His eyes are locked on a delegman, whatever that is. Beautiful and terrible, eyes half-lidded as she hums. Oh, some sort of dryad kind of thing? A bird with fantastic blue and orange plumage sits on her shoulder, trilling gently, and the man is entranced. Trembling, tentative, he stands, and the tranquillity is broken by the bird's startled squawk. The Delimgan half smiles, beckoning with twig-like fingers. Yeah, definitely dryad. Why don't you say dryad? That would be so simpler. She does not speak as he approaches his mouth. His mouth is dripping. Sounds of awe and admiration. She waits, coy and tempting, and with agonizing slowness he is before her. Then something changes. She sees something hanging limply from his side, and begins to hiss. Fingers suddenly close, and eyes black with hate. He has no time to reach for his axe or grimoire as she strikes, and just as soon as she strikes, she is gone. The only evidence of her existence, the shuddering wreck on the ground. He grabs at his grimoire nevertheless and begins to chant. But the words of a magical language, of his own imagining scribbled in a maniacal shorthand, ring hollow, and the silence continues unabated. He turns and shrugs at someone or something, but if there is something there, you do not see it. Fair enough. I'm sorry, it doesn't look like there's gonna be too much action in that episode. Right, back to the tree. I'm gonna finish my little talk. This is really quite gruesome. So, Urget was the sellsword. Keep out of trouble. Okay. Archer. Okay. Let's talk to you then. I'm afraid I still can't help you find residence here, not like I'd want to stay anyway. Let's find out about the Lord. He comes from a line of nobles who have defended this land since Aedir times. Raedric II was an early supporter of Deerwooden independence during the Revolution, and the current Lord's father perished in the Saints' War. Hollowborn began appearing in the Drywood shortly after the war's end. Lord Raedric has taken it upon himself to purge the curse from Gilded Vale. His measures have been severe but necessary. Unfortunately, it may not have been enough if the bells were any indication. Tell me about the Saints' War. Our age's most egregious example of man's madness. 15 years ago, the people of Reed Seras decided that Waedwin, their living saint, was the literal incarnation of the god Eothas. This supposed saint took it upon himself to liberate the Direwood, supposedly from allegiances to less worthy gods, but I've never known an army to conquer a land for its people on good. That is reasonably true. The war lasted about a year, but you can guess what that year did to the worship of Eothas and the Direwood. Lord Raedric's forebears had all been Eothasians, but after his father fell defending us from those fanatics, he personally saw that the temple of Eothas here in town was shut down. Other questions? Well, tell me about Gilded Vale. We're a frontier village, and as our most settlement in the Dyewood, Gilded Vale hasn't grown much since its establishment in the colonial days, and the last 15 years have seen our population shrink farther. Well, obviously, if you hang them on the trees. Oh, he takes part in the conversation. Okay. Why has it been shrinking besides the obvious hanging? Wadrin's legacy, of course. Many women have had difficulty bearing healthy children of late. A few years ago, Lord Raedric decreed that no mother of Hollowborn are to be allowed in Gilded Vale. His lordship dealt swiftly with the objectors. It may be harsh, but if it purges us of this curse, is it not worth it? The ruins behind the trees, sure. That's what's left of the temple of Eothas. Lord Raedric forbade worship of the dead god after the Saints' War. It's been abandoned for almost 15 years, but there are plans to rededicate it to Bereth, the god of life and death. Yes, enough about Gilded Vale. Thank you. So that would be the ruins. Theon. You see a pennon waving tall and sluggish in the wind, a rising sun embroidered on the banner, the vanguard of a small troop of paladin. The atmosphere is buoyant, if restrained, and their armor has not yet been tarnished by the elements. This expedition is fresh, young, filled with zest and zeal. At their head stands a commander, awkward in full armor but determined in step. Despite the excitement of his fellows, he does not smile. There's a twist in his mouth, his countenance grim. He throws up a hand, halting his troop. Silence falls among them, revealing a dark thunder, deep and low. He orders them to ready their weapons and spread out. Eyes dart from horizon to horizon, necks twisting to see the source of the sound. In the distance, dust and lightning rise from the ground. A Stygian cloud races towards them overhead. The soldiers stand, only the staccato movement of their breath betraying their nerves. The commander closes his eyes, calling a blessing down on his troop. Invigorated, invincible, they wait as the enemy draws closer, poised to attack. Well, he's seen things. Alright. Let's hopefully do a bit of a dungeon clearing or something. Just please no bear. Not ready for the next one. Weirton, what are you doing there? Hello, who's there? A man lies resting against a wall, lit by the dim illumination of the fading sconces. He has a gaunt, fox-like aspect, and his face is pale and damp with sweat. One arm is held loosely against his side, sleeve soaked with blood. He gives you an anxious glance as you near, his features twisted with pain.
Hail, traveler.
Ha! Thought you were some... Never mind. Whoever you are, you've traveled a long way to reach a dark place. This temple isn't what it used to be, probably for the best, times being as they are. I'm no looter, if that's what you're thinking. Not one of the faithful either. Just wanted to do some good, I suppose. Got my arm clawed up for it. Maybe you'd have better luck. So what were you doing here? Better luck with what? These ruins around us used to be a temple of Eothas, the scattered god. A grand temple at that. His worshippers would come from all over the Dyewood, from Reedceres even. Until the war, of course. Even then, you'd get some of the stubborn ones, the ones that couldn't get it through their heads that their god was dead and gone. Please get to the point. As you like. Once the legacy started, Lord Raedric decided he'd been too lenient on the Eothasians. He had his people go in and put them all to the sword, left them down there, buried under a heap of rock. Heretics or not, their death didn't stop the legacy, didn't do much of anything at all. They didn't deserve to go like that, chopped down in their god's house. If you can get down there, find their remains, maybe we'll finally give them a proper burial. No small task, there's coin in it for you if you need motivating. A pleasant surprise to see that someone around here has a shred of respect for the dead. Indeed, unless he's lying, obviously. Yeah. Well, I meant to be in and out, nice and quick. I'm not hurting anyone, it's just Lord Raedric's forbidden anyone having anything to do with the scattered god. It'd be a little harder to explain to him than you. It's a good cause though, isn't it? And you could make some coin in the process. You don't have to repeat it. The more you tell me you want to give me money, the more suspicious I grow. Why can't you do this yourself while he's injured? Yes, let's have number 3. I wouldn't go telling him about it. Lingering in this place is no good for anyone. But if you do this quick and quiet, and we can do right by those priests without raising a fuss. Who are you anyway? Good point. You're Wharton. You have lived in the Gilded Gale long enough to remember how grand it used to be. I used to help the temple sometimes, bring supplies, that's all. Okay then. I'll find them. The temple's been sealed off for so long, it's crawling with creatures. Okay. They had secret chambers, switches on the wall. Okay. There might be traps. Oh, now you can walk.
Yeah.
Just did a quick save, so I don't have to do all the talking again. Ivory Spiderling. Alright. Keep your bow for now. You can use any of your first level spells, or you have Arcane Assault.
Lava will be on.
That's a quick cast, that's good. How many times can I use the spells? I don't seem to have magic point. No need to cast a spell, just use your scepter. Is that...
Eh?
I'll see what I can find.
I don't want you to find anything, I just don't want to get surprised by gigantic spiders. How many more do we have? Just the one? Okay then, just the one, we can do this.
Yeah. Birthday field unsup.
I shall.
Oh, there's the bigger one.
Aye?
Field unsup.
Aha! So, I can use 4 spells, whichever 4 spells, but that's it. What will I do? Bolt of magical... Yep, do that. Preferably on that one.
Oh.
I don't know if it targets the creature or Or the area. Find out. The area. We have found out.
I don't feel so good.
Most inconvenient. Ah!
Poisoned, both of us.
I don't. Word sealed unsolved.
Oh, was that document? Did it go straight in my chest? A letter home. Mother, I have asked Brother Edric to carry this letter to you. Eomar. Okay, I might have to deliver that letter.
Sure.
Nice and quiet.
Ooh.
Would you look at this?
So I guess I need to rest to be able to use that, and this is 2 per encounter. Okay.
Indeed.
Gotcha.
Eh?
Scolder Whelp. Oh yeah, we fought some of those. Let's see how many of you. Just the one. Yay.
Let's have it out!
Ha! Got him!
I wish I had
Nice
someone
and
a little
quiet.
tougher, a little less squishy than my 2 characters. So one here, gotcha.
Aye?
Word sealed unsolved.
Not bad.
I'll see what I can find.
Haha. 2 of them. I'm not at full health. I have no spells. I have 1 camping gear. Let's see what's over there. Silly me.
I don't feel so good.
You'll get better. Okay, that was lucky. Defense against spells, that's good. Oh, I see, it's one or the other. Okay. Well, you already have a cloak, I see. So, Well, it looks like I might need to rest after one. It's good.
I shall be discreet.
Three bells hang from the stone protrusion that runs along this wall. Years of dust and grime coat the metal. There is one large bell at the center, flanked by two smaller ones. We can examine them. The bells appear to be fully intact. They are made of a thick iron and look very heavy. There doesn't appear to be much out of the ordinary about them. I'm not gonna ring anything until I get maybe a book or something that explains what it is. However, I have almost explored everything. No, not really. There's this room, and that one with the tougher guys. If I can clean everything except the tougher guys, then rest and go for the stronger guys.
I'll
That'd be
see
nice.
what I can find.
But here's another one. 2, 3, 4. Oh my goodness. Shh. And there I was busy counting and I didn't see they were detecting me. And I don't stand a chance with those 4. Well, we'll give it a try.
Word a feud unsolved.
Okay, I'm running around like a coward. Because they give up. But don't. I'm just building up my chance. Okay, it's doable, but the distance has to be carefully measured.
Yes? Here.
Yeah, those spells did nothing to them. So there I was worrying about this one stronger enemy, when in fact there's 4 of them down there. Okay, this is gonna take a bit more thinking and a bit more tactics. And anyway, I feel it's been quite a while already. All this reading has exhausted me. Anyhow, thanks for watching. In the next episode there will be a lot more action, hopefully, because all this soul reading is interesting and exhausting at the same time. Anyway, thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye bye.